Okay, I'm gonna get started. It is 7:33, and we're gonna just get started. Before I get started, I like to just give a brief overview for the people that are new to what I do. Uh-oh, hold on. Um, so basically, I like to just give a brief overview about overages and tax deeds, so you can have an idea of what overages is all about, and then after that I open it up for Q&A. So I'm just going to get started and kind of give you just a brief overview, about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we can get into the Q&A. So a lot of people don't know what tax deed overages are. And basically tax deeds, I call them tax deed overages because when people go to the auction, especially in places that have high taxes, you can buy the property for the owed taxes on a home, and the mortgage is free and clear. So there's no mortgage, you're just paying the back taxes. And what often happens is if you owe something to the county and the minimum bid is 10,000 and then the properties say it goes for 150,000, then there's overage of 140,000. I personally think this is one of the best recession proof real estate investing strategies because you don't have to invest anything but your time. If you do invest in tax deeds, then you get all the overage information while you're at the auction. So a lot of times people ask me, what's the difference between tax deeds, surplus funds, and excess proceeds? Well, they all are the same. They just have different terminologies. You have surplus funds, you have excess proceeds, you have overbids. And I like to say tax deed overages because anything over the minimum bid, the owner is owed. But 9 times out of 10, if you lose your property for not paying something, you don't think you're owed anything. So 99.9% of the time, most people don't even know they're owed this money. This also is for foreclosures as well, mortgages, but I don't do mortgages. So that is another story. That's another time. I only do tax deed overages, but there's mortgage overages, there's bankruptcy overages, there's all type of overages, but I like to keep it simple and sweet and just deal with tax deed overages. So these are the four basic terminology or vocabulary that's used widely throughout the counties. So if you're looking into this and you're wanting to know more, these are the different terminologies that are used widely throughout the different counties. The next thing is who actually can collect these funds. Well, first of all, the owner can, and then a third party like you and me, if you are an investor or an individual or an LLC, you too can collect these claimants on behalf of the owners. In other states, only attorneys can collect these overages, and also to the heirs of the owner. I'm doing a case now, and the husband didn't leave anything to the wife. So it's really a little bit complicated when you get into the heirs of the ownership. I personally don't like to deal with the probate, but these are the four ways that you can collect on these overages. I mainly teach people how to do it as a third party. I pretty much stay away from probate, but hey, if you like dealing with that, you can do that. But these are the four ways that you could collect these funds. Secondly, the forms that you need in order to collect these funds are really simple. And what I find throughout pretty much every county, you need at least 2 or 3 of these forms. Number one, you definitely need an assignment of a fee contract. And that's basically you assigning the checks over to you as opposed to the claimant's name, because it doesn't make any sense for you to do all the work and then you give the check to the claimant. Secondly is a contingency fee form. I like to give that out first before I spend any time or money or energy trying to collect. I do a contingency fee form, basically saying that I'm going to do all the work contingent upon getting the claim for you. So they don't pay anything up front. I do all the work, and then if I'm able to collect, then they pay me a percentage. So if people are in real estate, it's just like a commission, except I feel like this commission's a lot easier because you're literally helping people get money and you're not asking for anything in return but a signature. And that leads me to the affidavit or the power of attorney. You definitely need this in counties that will only write the check to the claimant's name, but if you have a power of attorney, I've done this several times, you can sign over the check to yourself or the corporation and cash the check. And that's why you need the power of attorney. Number 4, across the board, every county has a claim form. So you definitely need that in order to submit. Now, there are a few counties I've noticed in Nevada where they don't even have claim forms. They just ask you to send the contingency fee form, and that's good enough. And last but not least, I'm now starting to see a lot of counties ask for a W-9 because they want to know who they're reporting this money to. So that's really important. And these are pretty much the basic forms. I had 3, but as I've ventured out into other counties, these are pretty much the 5 standard forms that I have seen across the board that most counties require or request in order to file a claim. So what do you need from the list of overages? Now, a lot of times people ask, okay, well, I have the list, but it doesn't have the owner's name. It doesn't have the address. You will get a lot of overage lists that do not have the name. It'll have like the APN number, and it may have the address, or it may have the original owner's name, or it might have the bidder's name that won the bid. So it's really important to know who you are going after. And that's why I said the original owner's name, because a lot of the lists will have the new owner's name. Secondly, you definitely have to have the right address. And then you want to know what the bid amount, the winning bid amount is, so that you can deduct the minimum bid amount, which actually goes directly to the county. And whatever is over the minimum bid is what the overage you would collect. And last but not least, I should have put this as the first, but I'm hearing this over and over again as I'm helping students all over the state. A lot of people will come to me with lists and, helping them wanting to collect overages. And I find that they've done all this work and they didn't find out what the redemption period. So it's really, really important to know what the redemption period is for each state. This is like, in a nutshell, what the overage process is. Now, there are some minor details, but just for the sake of time, I just wanted to kind of briefly go over some of the steps. Like I said, number 1, you need a list. Then secondly, you need to sort that list. Now, how I sort my list is from the highest overage to the lowest overage, because that helps me concentrate on a certain amount and a certain dollar amount. And then number 3 is to get all the paperwork you need. I oftentimes offer that in my course. Now, there aren't all the documents because I don't have claim forms for every county, but the basic forms that you need to process besides the claim form, I pretty much have in my course. You can find a lot of this stuff online. The only 2 things you won't find online is an assignment contract, and you definitely won't find the contingency fee form, because that's something that I had an attorney draw up for me. Step number 4 is you definitely got to find the original owner. I don't know how many times people were saying, I didn't find the claimant, and then I'll go and research and find out that they were going after the wrong person. So you definitely want to know that you have the right owner. And then number 5, I learned this through experience. It's important to build rapport because there's a lot of scams out there. So you got to build rapport with these people, because a lot of people will say they're owed money and then it's a scam. So I always highly suggest, checking out social media, asking questions, just to get a little bit more information on the individual so it doesn't seem scammy. And then number 6 is you submit the claim form with the agency that's holding the funds, and then you wait for approval. Now, a lot of people ask me, okay, how long does it take from beginning to end? Now, I think the longest process is literally convincing the claimant and then getting the claimant to sign the papers. However, if you have a claimant that's ready to go, I personally have completed an overage claim in 60 days. And that's even dealing with the county. So it just really depends. Some of them take 9 months. Some of them can take up to a year. I know California now, they make you wait a whole year to collect the overages, which is a headache, but California has some of the best overage claims. So it's worth putting some claimants in a pipeline. So this is the overage process in a nutshell. This is one of my checks. I probably need to update this because I've had a larger check than this one. This was back in 2020. I've had plenty more, and as you guys can see, I had my name here, and basically I changed it to a corporation. So you definitely can make a good payout doing overages, and you collect a fee. I think the largest I've had is like 30%, but you can modify that as you like. So this is one of my payouts. And then I always tell people that, once again, this is the best recession proof strategy, especially if you're wanting to get into real estate and you're wanting to learn how to invest smart and not hard and not waste your hard earned money on properties or investing and hoping that you can fix and flip it or find a renter. I feel like overages is one of the best kept secrets because you can make 100% ROI because you don't have to purchase anything. There's no credit required. There's no cash required. The only thing that's required is your time and research. And I'm actually building something where not even a lot of your time is necessary. And you really can actually sub that out to someone too. The only thing that I feel that, requires some of your time is doing the research if you don't have a good skip tracer. But if you stay consistent, I promise you, you can get 100% ROI doing this overage business. So, in a couple of weeks, actually a week from now, I am having an overage cohort, a mastermind, and it's a 3-week program where you work directly with me. Now, the reason how I came up with this whole overage cohort thing is because I'm a hands-on person, and I know we all don't have time. We all have full lives. We all work. We all have different jobs, different responsibilities, and a lot of times we don't have time to do the research. We don't have time to figure out stuff. So what I did was I created a mastermind where we come on once a week. I lay everything out from you, from the list. I skip trace. I pretty much do everything for you, but I do have you do some of the intricate details that I feel that you would need to do consistently in each county. And at the end of the 3 weeks, my goal is and hope that you find a claimant and we collect the claim together. And I help you carry the torch across the finish line. So this is what I'm offering as my overage cohort. It's those of you that are interested, and that's at leveragemdb.com. So if you guys have any questions, I am going to open the floor for Q&A. So I'm going to stop the mute. Hold on just a second. Oh, okay. All right, Patrice, do you have any questions?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's good to hear your voice.
I know. Let me